Hi everybody, welcome to Khong Driving. And what are we going to do, guys? We're going to check this one out. This is a reconditioned used Toyota 86. This is the GT86. So it's got a few things that are different. Okay, for those of you who remember the Toyota AE86, which was also known as the Levin, that was a coupe two-door Corolla that had a very fast engine and it was a very good handling car. And in the 80s, it made itself a name both in rallying and racing. Personally, I took the car to championship in 1984, 86 and 87. And so that car was a very good car. It had all the basic ingredients for good handling car, a coupe body, wheelbase of the magic number 100 inches, which is about 2,500 mm. And so that was a very famous car, but it was even made more famous by the tofu fast seller in Japan in the cartoon series that used that cartoon version of the A86, and he ran through the mountains every day to deliver his tofu. Okay, and so with all that hype, Toyota decided to come back with the Toyota 86, but this time, well, it's no longer that sedan, or rather the coupe that was based on the Corolla sedan, but this is a body all by itself. Now the wheelbase has been extended by about an inch. It's now about 101 inches, yeah. So it's a bit above 2005, but 26 something mm. The car still handles well. And why does it handle well? Well, the secret is in the suspension. The front runs McPherson strut, but the back suspension is a double wishbone. Now imagine this car was launched in 2012, and that means he spent a couple of years before that to develop. And I kind of suspect that this is the basis on which Toyota are running the suspensions now, because the same setup is found in the Camry, which handles very well, and also in the CHR. So the other two cars that I just mentioned, they also run a McPherson strut front and a double wishbone back. Okay, so this could easily be the pioneer of the new suspension setup. And what is more apt than this, because this is the performance car, the sports car, okay, and this is the low-cost sports car. So why are we looking at this car? This is not a new car. This is a car that was imported from Japan. So we are now looking at whether it is worthwhile to pay a little bit over 100,000. The prices are around 120 to 150 depending on the condition. This is a very special edition, a little bit different from the normal Toyota 86. This is the GT86. What it has is it has a LSD and also slightly different suspension settings, plus 18-inch wheels. These are 18-inch wheels with wider tires, and this actually gives the car a lot of grip. If you want to play a lot of sideways and all, then you should use the standard 17-inch wheels with the 205 tires. All right, so let's look at the engine. The car was developed together with Subaru, and so they used the base engine from Subaru, from the WRX and STI, which is the 2-liter engine. Okay, this is the 2-liter engine that comes from the base comes from the Subaru family. So as you can see, it is a horizontally opposed 4-cylinder, and on some of the Subaru cars this is also turbocharged. However, Toyota and Subaru maintain that this is a totally redeveloped engine. Yeah, it is not identical, but I would say that maybe the block is the same, and because it doesn't make sense to come with a new block, right? So this is the base. What you call the way it's built is very Subaru. But good thing about having an engine like this is because it sits very low. Okay, let's take a look from the side. This is the side of the car, and look at the engine. It sits way below the bonnet line, yeah, because this is claimed to give more stability, and well, I've driven the car, I don't doubt it. Okay, and we all know there's a turbocharged version of this engine, so I think getting a turbocharger into this engine bay will not pose too much of a problem. Yeah. Okay, just for the record, this has 200 horsepower and 205 Newton meters of torque. So the car weighs about 1.2 tons. This is the lightened version, yeah, not the full version. So you can see on the firewall there, it's a very thin firewall. There's hardly any soundproofing or insulation, and you can see here the fenders have been cut, and this is a plastic fender. So this is what BMW does to the cars. So the whole car is built to be light on weight, and here is the front struts, and you can see as standard there is a strut bar going to the firewall and another strut bar to the next strut mounting. Okay, so these are very basic things that help to make the car sturdy, or rather rigid. Okay, so you can see the gearbox at the back. If you peep inside, there's a gearbox there, and this is a north-south arrangement, which means the engine is placed in a north-south, not transversely for front-wheel drive, but this is made for rear-wheel drive. So it's a front engine, rear-wheel drive build-up. The bonnet itself is made of aluminum, and so you can see here these points where my thumb is. These are the points that show that it's aluminum. Yeah, it's very lightweight, so we have to drop it. Okay, so the carbon fiber rendering at the top is just a sticker. Yeah, so at the front you can see it's got a nice sporty looking front, and this is meant to look like a sports car. So this car is only 1.2 something meters tall, so it's very short, and so you got a nice long bonnet, not too long that is hard to see over. So you are sitting in a position that is around midpoint between the front and rear wheels. So that gives you a very good sense of control. Okay, so looking at the front, you have what looks like 4-pot calipers. Okay, these could be 2-pot. Yeah, it's either 2-pot or 4-pot. Looks more like a 2-pot floating caliper. Yes, yeah, I'll be able to confirm it later. And yeah, let's take a closer look. Yes, this front is a 2-pot caliper, which is the standard, and at the back is a single pot, and it's got ventilated disc. Okay, earlier in another video I said it has solid disc. This has got ventilated disc at the back too. Let's check the front. Yep, the front discs are ventilated. You can see just past the silvery line there's the red part. Okay, let's take a look at the inside. Okay, inside there is a roll cage which comes as standard because this is a special GT86 model, and the idea of having a GT86 is to keep things plain and simple. So other than the electric controls for the mirror and the window, everything else is kind of like manual. So even the steering, it looks quite okay, but this is the standard steering, 3-spoke, but you are expected to change to your own sport steering, but this one is good enough. Okay, the trim on the side is pretty standard looking. There is hard plastic on the dashboard. Nothing much impressive, but it's nice. Okay, seating is 2+2, so you can fit two very small people in the two little buckets at the back, and the seat back, there's nothing to talk about. Okay, that's a camera that I mounted. Yeah. All right. So this car is built very Spartan, yeah. And here is the meters. They're just 2 round meters. See this one, they have the speedometer on the left and the rev counter right in the center. So as you can see, the red line is at 7,400 RPM. So you can pull this car up to 7,400 RPM. And look at the meter. I like it because if you're going 100 kilometers per hour, you're still at the bottom 1/3 of the meter. So the one that you'll be looking at is near the top, where you can see closer to 200. Yeah, this car will hit about 200. And okay, the radio was damaged, so it never came with the car, so the owner is looking around for a suitable headset to put in, and the aircon is manual controls. So in the center, right under the gear stick, there is the traction control button and also VSC Sport. So you can run VSC Sport if you want, which reduces the assistance, and you can run traction control off just at the push of a button. Okay, the seats are supposed to be Recaro, but we don't see any Recaro marking. But okay, I've driven on this car and I've sat in the seat, and they are buckets and they hold you pretty well. Okay, so far so good. So as you can see, everything is very Spartan to keep the cost down so that you can enjoy a car at a reasonable cost. Okay, we're going to open the boot. Okay, the boot is opened by a remote. Okay, at the back, the boot is opened by a remote, and this is the boot area. So as you can see, there is no soundproofing. It's just plain metal. Okay, and these things are put there. They're just styrofoam, and this is for your tools and for the things that you want to keep. And you can actually take it out if you're going for competition, and you can put a spare tire in if you want. You can put a space saver, so there is a space there, but this car comes without the spare tire. All right, even at the back, you see the boot area, there is no insulation, no nothing. There isn't even a cover here to hide all this stuff here. So this is built as a sporty car for sporty people. And yeah, the bunny rocket spoilers came with the car. It came from Japan like that. All right, so at the bottom there's a little diffuser, which is standard, and there's twin exhaust pipe. Okay, so what do you think of this car? It looks pretty nice, yeah? The shape from the back, from any angle, it looks pretty good. And if you wanted to buy a new one, you could get one from UMW Toyota. They can probably import it for you upon special request, but it'll set you back around 250,000 or more. We don't know what's the actual price, but the last quoted price, which was a couple of years ago when they were still selling this car, it was around 245 to 250,000. Okay, so you can pick one of these up, anything from 120 plus to 150, depending on the importer and on the trim of the car and also the condition. Now this one is a bit of a find because it is a manual, and manuals are hard to come by, and on top of it, it is a GT86, which is a limited edition, and it costs more to buy, but it has less trim. Okay, they have air condition. Yeah, this one has air conditioning. They also have automatics, and they also have other variants which are automatic, and they could cost a bit more. And manuals are hard to find, and good manuals also may cost you more. Okay, so if you buy one that is like second hand from somebody who has bought it from an importer and used it for a couple of years, and there are quite a few that are running around, you should be able to get it from anything between 95 to 110 or 120. All right, so for a small sum like that, that you would otherwise have to pay for a C-class sedan, very humdrum and all that, you can pick up something like this, which is more exciting and more fun. Of course, you must remember, of course, if you have a family, this better be your second car, because not many other people can get in except you and your one person. The back seats are okay if your kids are very, very small, but it's definitely not something you want to take a long trip outstation unless it's just for you and somebody special and you just need to carry an overnight bag. Yeah, the boot's not bad, you can carry more than an overnight bag, but this car, would I buy it? Yes. Would you buy it? I don't know. The choice is up to you, but it's such a nice looking car, right? Thank you for watching and stay tuned. Bye bye.